Hey, it's Piper. Giving you a Crohn's update on what all has happened since my last video. I'm obviously not at Vanderbilt. I've been too upset to make a video in the past day, and I finally just said, there's been a lot of people I haven't responded to their text messages and their Facebook messages because I'm so disappointed. I'm not disappointed. I'm both disappointed, but I'm also relieved at what they found at Vanderbilt. I went to Vanderbilt and got up at 7 a.m. Thursday morning. The car ride to Vanderbilt was lovely. I had to lay down. I'm at the point where I cannot sit on my bottom anymore. I have to lay down, so that's why I'm at this lovely angle. I saw Dr. Akra. He is a pediatric GI. He specializes in irritable bowel disease, which I have. It goes along with the Crohn's. I told him my history. He has all my records from Knoxville. And for those of you that don't know, Vanderbilt is in Asheville. Vanderbilt is in Nashville with an N, not an A. He looked at my butt, and instead of saying pus in this video, I'm going to say drainage, because that's just a more graceful word. He didn't really get too flustered and excited. He was very laid back until he saw my sides, until he saw my bottom. And then that's when things started to be discussed about surgery, and that's when things started rolling. He thinks that my fistula, I explained fistula in the last video. Fistula is a type of abscess that tunnels. It can tunnel. It can be from intestine to intestine. It can be from anal wall to the bottom, the hole. It can be. It can connect to anywhere. What Dr. Akra thinks my fistula has done is connected to my intestine, which is why it keeps coming back. The intestine keeps feeding the fistula, and that's why it keeps growing. That's why drainage keeps coming out. And let me explain here. Okay, he wants to put a seton in during surgery, and what a seton does is when you have a fistula, it bends in the middle. And like I said in my other video, Dr. Angel, who's done all my previous surgeries, has not been able to find the end of my fistula, which why Dr. Acker thinks it's connected to my intestine. Dr. Angel always drained the front part of the fistula, leaving the back part to be unhealed, and that's why it keeps coming back, is that back part needs to be healed. The seton is a surgical little string, a surgical type of string that they will run through the fistula and tie to the end of my butt, and that will straighten the fistula out and keep it from bending in the middle and allow it to heal evenly. And every 4 to 5 weeks they will adjust the seton and tighten it. So when my fistula is straightening out, that will help let it heal evenly. Let's see, what's next? We had suggested this. My mother had suggested this to Dr. Angel, and it was never really taken into consideration. But we are at last resort for healing my fistula, and using acetylene is last resort, and that's what we're going to try. We have discussed a surgeon with Dr. Accra, and he wanted to use a pediatric general surgeon. There wasn't any colorectal pediatric surgeons at Vanderbilt, but there is adult colorectal surgeon, an adult medicine practicing surgeon. His name's Dr. Geiger. I googled him. I've heard great things about him. It's tricky crossing over from pediatric to adult when the child is still under 18. Because, do I go to the adult hospital to have the procedure done? Does the adult surgeon come to the pediatric hospital and bring all of his team? It just gets tricky, and we really hope he'll take me. The reason we think he will take me is because my sister may use him in the future for her surgery, and, having that relationship, he might take me as well. So that's the whole surgery spiel. I will be having surgery. It's a scary surgery to me because I'm familiar with them just draining it, but I'm not familiar with this whole ceton thing. So get all the surgery out of the way. I asked Dr. Accra if I was going to be admitted, because here, Dr. Altwell admitted me like that. Like, my abscess was never even this big, except the first time I was admitted, and he admitted me. I don't know. Anyways, I asked if I was going to be admitted, and he said no, and I started freaking out because I thought today was the day I was going to get some relief. Today was the day I was going to, be let go of my pain. And I was just really flustered when he says, no admittance today. And the reason we think I wasn't admitted is they see this every day. They see fistula every day, as in Knoxville. I'm not saying they don't see it every day, but they don't see it as often. And if he admitted every patient that came through with fistula and drainage coming out of their butt, Vanderbilt would be full. I think there's a lot of kids that go to Vanderbilt with a more serious case than mine. My case is very serious. I have an abscess, probably the size of a pool ball, maybe closer to a tennis ball, of fluid in my bottom. That's very serious. I'm on this drug antibiotic called Flagyl, and about to be back on Cipro. And if I wasn't taking that, I would probably be running 103 fever, because I don't know, I think it's in my bloodstream now. I really didn't clear that up with my mom, but I would be really sick if I wasn't on the antibiotics, which is sort of not masking the pain, but sort of not masking the condition, not the pain. It's very painful. I can't sit on my bottom. But let's move on. MRI. Holy cow. Okay. The MRI was supposed to be sent to Vanderbilt, so when we got there, the doctor could look at the MRI results. First of all, I had an MRI last week and a half at Children's, and they were supposed to send the blood work and the MRI to Vanderbilt for when I got there. We got there, no MRI. They had not sent it, so my mother had to call Children's and get them to fax it over. They did, and the doctor looked at the MRI and said, "This is not done right. This is undiagnostic. I cannot diagnose you based on the MRI that has been done." We got to look at the MRI. We got to look at my recent blood work. And when I was in the ER the last time, they said my blood work looked good. All my levels were fine. We saw different. My mother's a nurse. She knows her levels. She knows her numbers. I'm anemic. They said I was fine. I'm still anemic, which means you're supposed to have a certain amount of red or white blood cells. I forgot which one. I think it's red. In your body to function properly, and not function properly, but be healthy. And the reason they took blood work was because I was losing so much blood from my stitches being gone. And they were checking those levels, and they said my levels were fine, but they weren't. Anyways, still anemic. Still borderline anemic. So Dr. Acker wanted a proper MRI done to see if my fistula is connected to my intestine. So we are going tomorrow night. My actual MRI down there is at 7. We'll leave here around 3 because it takes about 2.5 hours. A good full 3 hours. Plus we like to eat when we get down there. To get there. So, and the equipment down there is the best in the world, so it will be a stronger reading than it would be here at Children's. The process of an MRI is at 7, I'll start drinking the contrast I have to take for them to see properly down there. And I'm getting an MRI of my pelvis and a whole lower belly button down, I think. And the contrast taste, it's not the best tasting stuff. It's better than barium that I had to drink, which was chalky for my oh, it just left me, upper small bowel series x-ray. It's lemony tasting, the one for the MRI. I'll drink that, have to get it down in an hour. It's 2 big things like this. I can't even they're this big. I know you can't. There you go. They're about this big, and there's 2 of them, and I get to put it on ice, so it's not that bad. Then they'll put me in the MRI tube, and they let me listen to the radio, and they'll put contrast in my IV. Oh Lord, I just realized I have to have an IV tomorrow. Woo! Not looking forward to that. I hate needles. I'm needle phobic. Anyways, bottom line, I'm scared because we won't even get the MRI results back till around Monday because they probably don't work on Sundays. So, bottom line is I'm gonna have to walk around with this abscess in my butt for at least probably another week until we get to go consult with Dr. Geiger, and it gets more painful every day. It's getting to the point now where it's really bothering me. It used to, just when I put pressure on it, when I sat down, that's when it hurt, but now it's hurting nonstop whether I put pressure on it now or not, and it's scary knowing it's going to get worse every day. And I've been told every time I eat, that's what feeds it, and it grows every time I eat. And it's starting to get harder to sleep now because of the pain and stuff. And overall, I'm just devastated. I really am. I don't even know. I'm just trusting in God right now. I'm just relying on Him. That's all I can do anymore. My whole life's been taken over by this. You know, big pity party right now. But, it has. My life has been really controlled by this. But I was looking forward to Vanderbilt. Thought that was the day all the pain was going to stop, and it didn't. Surprise, surprise. It's tough. God's gonna get me through this. He is. Still gonna trust in Him no matter what, because that's all I can do anymore. Just pray for my family, pray for my sister again, pray for me and my mother and my brother and my best friend Michelle as we make the journey down there tomorrow again. And everything's gonna be okay. It is. So just giving everyone an update, and I'll eventually get back to you if you've texted me and wanting to know what's going on. I haven't been in the mood, but now I will get back to everyone. So just pray. Bye.